In a certain place, there was a pair of twins who could cry gemstones. The older sister would cry when she was sad, while the younger sister would cry when she was happy. Within their tears hid a mystical power. Everyone wanted to get their hands on the stones. Because of this ability, the older sister was locked away in a castle for many years by her own father. She was bound in painful shackles, looking ragged and filthy. For many years, her main job was to cry and cry for those precious stones. The father relentlessly tormented, beat, and tortured her. In contrast to the older sister, the younger sister was always pampered. She dressed beautifully and lived a happy life. The younger sister's greatest joy was whenever her older sister was tormented. This father with the cold eyes, every time he appeared, the tragedy of her life would unfold. Let's end this here, Ingrid. That was the first time he had visited since locking her in the tower. She looked at him with hopeful eyes, thinking that this time he came, she would no longer have to endure pain. She said, "Really? Is it true, father?" He reached out, picked up a gemstone, and said, "That's right. We will stop this meaningless act immediately." This is not just an ordinary gemstone. Inside it contains a hidden power. But for him, ambition was never enough. You understand gemstones very well, don't you, Ingrid? You know when the most beautiful gemstone will be born. He brought a person with him, holding a large axe in his hand. "Father, who is that person?" Immediately, that person grabbed her by the hair and threw her to the ground. The image of a small girl about to suffer the tragedy that was about to unfold. He pushed Ingrid's head to the ground, causing her pain. The stone created at the moment of a person's death is a magnificent stone. Moreover, your tears contain an immense power, one that has never been seen before. The prosperity of the Jandin house must rely on you. Hearing those heartless words from her family member, she said, "Father, I can still be useful. From now on, I will cry more. Even if it hurts, I will endure it. I will try to be useful, father." To her pleas, he said, "If you still think of the family, then be obedient and listen." Then he immediately ordered the man to hold her down for the execution. The man asked, "Should I put a bag over her head?" "No, leave it. If the tears soak into the cloth bag, it will be difficult for them to become gemstones." The depths of his vileness were all in that sentence. "There, kill her." Before she died, she noticed her sister, whom she had trusted, was smiling happily. She wondered why she was smiling at the moment of her death. A red gemstone immediately appeared, glowing brilliantly and enveloping the entire tower. It didn't stop there. Time turned back. When she woke up, she found herself imprisoned in the tower again. Before that, she felt breathless from the aftershock of death. At first, she thought it was a dream, but she had been killed by her family countless times. Though the method of death was different each time, the brutality never changed. Every time, she would shed tears. The final gemstone would turn back time. She never wanted this to happen. It was because of that ability that she could not die. It was truly unbearable. If you're going to kill someone, you should do it properly. At this moment, her younger sister came to see her again. Only when she was with her did the younger sister's true personality reveal itself. "I'm so happy I can be alone with you like this, sister. When I'm with other people, I have to pretend to be obedient. It's no fun at all." In her delight, Cornelia revealed to Ingrid, "You know, father will listen to anything I say. Even about you, if I mention it, father will be very interested." "Cornelia, what did you say?" Cornelia raised her hand to Ingrid's face, saying, "You look like you're in pain." While at it, she made a scratch on Ingrid's face. She realized that every time she got hurt, her sister was very happy. The reason is because we're twins, but you can create such beautiful gemstones just by crying. That's why I told father that the most beautiful gemstone is created at the moment of death. That was a lie, wasn't it, Cornelia? In contrast to her sister's suffering, Cornelia became even more excited. "Sister, that face. It's wonderful." The older sister cries when sad. The younger sister cries when happy. "Please die for my happiness, my hateful sister." She used to think that even if she was killed, at least it was for the sake of her family. Like all the times before, her father brought a man with him, holding an axe. He walked in and asked, "Are you done with your greetings, Cornelia?" None of them knew about the time reversal. And yet, she had been killed many times because of Cornelia's selfishness. Ingrid realized how foolish she had been. Imprisoned for so many years in this place, treated like an animal, yet she had tried to find a justifiable reason for her own death. It was truly at the moment she realized the truth. She looked at her twin sister, who was laughing happily at her death. She said, "Cornelia, I hate you too." She told herself she would never again shed a tear she did not want to. And perhaps this would be the last time that gem would appear. and also the last time the tower would light up. Once again, she went back in time, still in shackles. But this time, she remembered everything that had happened in her past life. She picked up a black gemstone. She used its power to unlock her shackles and used a blue one to heal her wounds, stretching her body for a new start in this rebirth. This seemed to be the first rare time she let out a smile and slept comfortably on the ragged mat below. The next morning, she was awakened by a maid with an arrogant look on her face. She kicked the door open and shouted, "How long are you going to sleep? Get up quickly." Usually, she would make her stand in a corner and then check for any traces of gemstones. She would use a broom to hit her while cursing. Sometimes she would just threaten to hit her and laugh with delight at her fearful face. It had been 6 years since she was imprisoned in this tower. The Jandon house was known as the Gemstone Tears and had 2 daughters with the ability to create gemstones. When they were young, Ingrid was always crying, while Cornelia was always smiling. The father only loved the angelic younger sister, while she was forced to cry day after day. No different from a hen that lays golden eggs, locked in a cage. Even so, when her mother was alive, she was allowed to walk around the mansion. 6 years ago, her mother died from a plague, and it was announced to the outside world that she had also died with her mother. Her tears were used, but under her sister's name. This made her younger sister beloved by all. It was also because Cornelia's tears, compared to hers, were nothing more than rough stones. "Are you listening, you scum? Get up." The shout shattered her thoughts, being forced to climb to the top of the tower every morning just to pick up stones that she could never use. For the first time, Ingrid showed resistance. "It's too noisy. If that's the case, then you don't need to come here." How insolent! The maid raised her broom to strike her, but as quick as a flash. She took a black stone and touched the broom. It immediately turned to ash. Then she moved the stone in front of the maid. "Do you want this to happen to you too?" The maid's face immediately turned pale. "No. Is that so? Then how about you follow my request? Bring me a clean set of clothes right now. I can't go out in this. After that, prepare hot water for a bath. I will come later." The maid stammered, but Lady Ingrid is not allowed to leave her room. Coldly, she raised the stone and asked, "Be turned to ash or be scolded? Choose what you like. I'll prepare it immediately." A moment later, she left the tower in a beautiful dress, striding majestically towards the mansion. Without a hint of hesitation, she pushed the door open to everyone's astonishment. At that moment, the headmaid stepped forward to block her. "Why are you down here? Who gave you permission?" Previously, Ingrid had been terrified of her. She had once used a red-hot iron rod to torture her. The wound was so painful, she couldn't get any sleep. As she walked past, the woman pulled her back. "Hey, you dare ignore me? Move aside," she said. "I have somewhere I need to be." Just then, Cornelia stepped out of her room, rubbing her eyes sleepily. "Hey, I can't find the dress I was going to wear today." Then their eyes met. Though trembling with anger, Cornelia still acted friendly, running down the stairs. "Big sister, why are you here?" "Oh, that's my dress. Why are you wearing it?" "An important guest is coming today, so everyone prepared it for me." The head maid, wanting to curry favor with Cornelia, said Ingrid is a thief and promised to get the dress back for her. Ingrid thought to herself, everything in this house was bought with her tears. Seeing the woman approach, she said, "I believe I told you to move aside." The woman, still not knowing her place, shouted loudly, "You should know your place. It's a good thing there are many people here. It's a perfect time to put you back in line." She said, "I'll tell the master." "Oh, is that so?" In her hand, she was holding a black diamond. The power of the black diamond was merely suppression if used by anyone other than her. Only she, the creator of the gemstone, could use its special ability. A light touch, and the flower vase instantly turned to ash. Seeing the scene before her, the head maid collapsed to the ground, her limbs trembling. The guards and other maids were also terrified by the stone's special power. "If you want to tattle, feel free." Then she threw the stone towards Cornelia, giving her a fright. She thought she was about to be turned to ash. Seeing their reaction, she gave a satisfied smile and went straight upstairs. Cornelia was trembling with rage, but didn't dare to retaliate because there were many people around. To maintain her image, she pretended to be weak. Ah, how scary. Immediately, the maids flocked around to check on her. "Lady Cornelia, are you all right? Lady Cornelia, don't let that thing get near you." Cornelia had always been the center of everyone's attention because she could only create one type of stone. Its power was temptation. Because of that power, she had once loved her younger sister dearly. The more one loved the girl, the easier it was to be enchanted. Ingrid realized this thanks to dying. Thanks to dying and coming back to life many times. Thinking about it now, it was ridiculous. Following her memories from her past life, she went straight to her room. Opening the door, she walked right in. Inside, a maid was sick with a long, unending cough. Remembering her past life, she had known Abby. She was a new maid at the mansion. At that time, Abby had brought her food, but because the wounds from the previous day's beating still hurt, she couldn't eat. Abby said, "Lady Ingrid, you can't skip your meals. Did you cry this much last night, my lady?" Looking at the gemstones in her hand, she asked, "My lady, you must eat or you'll get dehydrated." Abby put the gemstones aside and took care of her. "I'm sorry, my lady. I only have my apron to wipe with." "Thank you." Abby's action comforted her greatly. From then on, Abby was in charge of collecting the gemstones. She never once hit or scolded her. Instead, she cared for her and talked with her. To explain this, she said, "Back in my hometown, I also have an older sister named Gemma. She's very gentle, and my sister is the same age as you, Lady Ingrid. That's why if you're not happy, Abby will be very sad. It's a bit disrespectful to see you as my sister, isn't it?" Fearing that if the daily amount of stones decreased, Abby would no longer be allowed to come. Every night she would think of countless sad things and cry a lot to prepare many gemstones. But all joy must come to an end. Tragedy struck when their conversation was seen by Cornelia. And after that day, Abby didn't come anymore. After asking the other maid who came to collect the stones about Abby, she received no answer. Instead, she was cursed and beaten by her. From then on, the days of being beaten by other maids returned. But remembering Abby's smile, she could endure it. She thought that Abby had returned to her hometown and being close to her sister was enough. But no, at that moment, Cornelia entered with a radiant expression. "Sister Ingrid, look what interesting thing I brought for you." The image of a man carrying something stood before her. When a man dropped what was on his shoulder, Ingrid was utterly shocked. It was Abby, in critical condition, taking weak breaths. Cornelia said, "Abby is about to die from her illness, sister. I wanted to let her see someone close to her one last time, so I brought her here." Ingrid, holding Abby in her arms, asked Cornelia, "Have you taken her to the hospital? What about medicine?" Cornelia said coldly, "Do the illnesses of the poor need to be cured, sister? Cornelia, I'm begging you, please call a doctor. Her sister is waiting for her back home. I'll give you as many gemstones as you want, I beg you." Cornelia said that unfortunately, it's meaningless because Abby is already dead. Along with those cold-blooded words was her joyful face as she looked down at Abby. Ingrid cried, sobbing, "Abby, why aren't you breathing? Wake up, your sister is waiting for you at home." But all that came in return were countless gemstones falling everywhere. How pitiful, sister. Everyone who gets involved with you meets with misfortune, don't they? It was then that Ingrid realized it was because she had become too close to Abby, that she was left to die. If only she had known how to use the gemstones then. Returning this time, she was determined to save Abby. She placed countless blue gemstones on Abby's body, using their special power to save the girl. Blue rays of light began to appear. Just a moment later, Abby had recovered, and the blue stones from before had turned black. "Lady Ingrid, why are you here?" "I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Everything is all right now." "Abby," Ingrid thought she should get the girl out of here. It would be dangerous to stay. "Can you walk, Abby?" "Yes." At that moment, a young man appeared. He said, "Do you need a hand?" "No need." And with that, the two of them walked past him. Wow, so cold. This young man was Sasha, the important guest Cornelia had mentioned that morning. A moment ago, he was in his room and heard the noise outside. So he came out curiously to see what was happening and happened to witness Ingrid saving Abby. Seeing Abby saved, Cornelia pretended to ask, "What's wrong with that maid? If we don't let her rest?" "No, Cornelia. Now there's no need for a doctor or medicine." Cornelia thought she had to quickly get Ingrid back to the tower, because the honored guest was still in the house. She used her power to enchant her. "Sister, go back to the tower. You can't violate the family's rules, sister." But now, that enchanting power no longer worked on Ingrid. She said, "How long are you going to stand there? You're blocking the way." Cornelia still didn't understand what was happening, because it had worked just yesterday. Why isn't it working today? Seeing an interesting drama unfold with Ingrid today, the young man from before stepped forward to join the excitement. As soon as Cornelia saw him, she ran over, acting friendly. "Lord Sasha, I was planning to visit you after checking on the maid. Why did you come here?" "I was planning to take a short walk, but ended up getting lost." "Is that so? If you'd like, I can show you the way." But Sasha ignored her suggestion, brushing past her like a breeze. He said, "It's a good thing I got lost." He walked over to greet Ingrid. "Forgive my delay. I am Sasha. You must be Lady Cornelia's twin sister, Lady Ingrid." The name of a dead person, It seems you remember it quite well. Because I greatly admire the gemstone tears. And from the start, your face and eyes are like gemstones, exactly like Lady Cornelia's. There's no mistaking it. Cornelia was grinding her teeth at being ignored. To attract attention, she ran to Ingrid's side and said, "My sister is a bit sensitive, so she can't leave the mansion." Just then, they were both informed that their father was looking for them. At this point, Cornelia was more anxious than anyone to get Ingrid away from there, because she was afraid that Sasha would discover that those stones were created by Ingrid. "Father is calling for us. Sister, let's go together." "Tell father I'll go when I feel like it." "Sister, you can't be so stubborn. Let's go to father together. I'll speak up for you." Immediately. "How rude, Lord Sasha." Lady Cornelia's eyes are indeed very beautiful, but yours are even more so, just like gemstones. Could it be that those eyes are the reason you two sisters don't get along? Sasha followed her to talk. "Has no one taught you that it's rude to stick your nose into other people's business? From the very beginning, the treatment of the two of us was completely different. One gets to run around freely in the mansion, while the other lives in tower. It seems your tutor lacked the ability to teach, didn't he?" "Yes, I'm a person without magic or abilities." "Even so, for you, my lady, my mansion would probably be somewhat more comfortable than here. What do you think? Would you like to be a guest at my Beamsmith mansion?" "I will go, but only when I feel like it." "Well, that's the same answer as before. Let's go, Abby. We'll pack your things so you can go home." "But the master just called for you, my lady." "That can wait." After preparing Abby's luggage, she went to her father. He said, "Do you have any idea what you're doing right now?" "I only want to visit a sick maid." "Surely you're not scolding me for that. It's about something else, not that. Did you intend to use a gemstone to harm Cornelia?" From the time she could remember until now, she had been terrified of this look. Even so, she had once hoped to receive love like Cornelia. Thinking he liked flowers, she had woven a flower wreath for him with her own hands, thinking he would like it. When she brought it to his room, "Father, did you pick flowers from the garden without permission?" "I'm sorry. I thought you would be happy. I'm sorry." But all he cared about were the precious stones that fell from her tears. Until now, no matter how much she thought about it, she couldn't understand why she wasn't loved. "Answer me, Ingrid. It seems you're misunderstanding something, father. I was simply defending myself against someone who tried to threaten me. Is that all? I didn't harm Cornelia or anyone else." "Ingrid, you dare talk back? Look at your sister. See how frightened she is." "Cornelia, you don't need to be afraid. It was all your misunderstanding." What is that tone of voice? "Father, don't be angry with my sister. She probably just got out of the tower after a long time, so she's a little confused. So, father, can you quickly send her back to the tower? Please, father?" At this moment, Cornelia again used her power of temptation to control her father. "Cornelia, how can you be so kind?" "Ingrid, as a mage of the Jandon house, you should only think about bringing prosperity to the family. Visiting a sick maid is not your concern. First of all, how can you lecture me with such an attitude? 4 generations, the daughters of the Jandon house have inherited the gemstone tears. The family's prosperity depends on me, because Cornelia's tears are impure and have no value at all. By rights, you shouldn't be giving me orders, but should be bowing your head and asking for my help. If you can't even do something as simple as that, then I have no reason to stay in this family anymore. Do you understand what you are saying?" "Yes, I have fulfilled my duty until now." From outside, Sasha could hear an argument happening inside. He opened the door and stepped in. "Forgive me for interrupting your conversation. I don't recall summoning you. My apologies for overstaying my appointment. The voices carried outside the room, so I happened to overhear. I would like to take the liberty of proposing a solution." "A solution?" "Yes. Let the Beamsmith house take care of Lady Ingrid. That is the solution." And of course, he refused Sasha's offer. He said that if Ingrid were to go to the mansion, she would more or less cause trouble for you. "I'm sure Ingrid pestered you into this, didn't she? This child has had a habit since she was young of needing to be told things many times. Otherwise, she won't listen. I've had a very hard time with that personality of hers." "That's not the case at all. This invitation is purely my own personal invitation to the lady. Instead, Lady Ingrid told me that your permission was not necessary. She is truly an independent and mature young lady." "That child, the words you've spoken, do you understand their meaning? Everything at the mansion is already more than sufficient. There is no reason to move to another mansion. You say her life is sufficient? Then why is it that I only see Lady Ingrid looking quite frail?" "What did you say?" "While we're on the subject, I must add How do you explain the fact that she is not dead but alive and standing here? Lady Ingrid is a mage with a rare and hard-to-find ability. And yet, on the current list of mages held by the kingdom, Lady Ingrid's name is not present. He said that bearing the responsibility as the head of a family, as well as a father, I was forced to do so to protect my daughter. Ingrid remembered all the things he had done. He still had the gall to spew such hypocritical words. He said that if Lord Sasha wished to maintain a good relationship with the Jandon house, he should not interfere in his family's affairs. Seeing this, Cornelia ran to Sasha's side and said, "Lord Sasha, I have always wanted to visit your mansion." Sasha extended a flaming hand towards Cornelia, showing his rejection. He said he only wanted to deepen his relationship with Ingrid. Turning to Ingrid, Sasha said, "My lady, would you be willing to accept my invitation?" Seeing Sasha's sincerity, but when she looked over at Cornelia and then at her father, it seemed he had other plans. "My father has spoken, so even if I wanted to, I cannot go against his word," Ingrid said. Because she hadn't spoken so much in a long time, she felt a bit tired and asked for permission to go rest. Ingrid thought that now was not the time to make a move. A week later, she had prepared a luxurious carriage to take Abby back to her hometown. "Hurry and get on the carriage, and remember to take care of yourself." The little girl seemed very happy, as it was her first time riding in a carriage as luxurious and fine as this. "Lady Ingrid, thank you so much." Looking back, she saw that Ingrid was all alone. Abby took her hand. "Lady Ingrid, what about you? What will you do from now on?" Ingrid said that she was still waiting for the right moment. After sending Abby off with the gemstone she had given her, she hoped that the little girl would have a happy life with her sister. Taking advantage of some free time during the day, Ingrid went to buy a few new outfits for herself. For the past few days, because she was so busy, she had only been temporarily wearing Cornelia's clothes. Now, standing in the shop, she thought that a person can only feel at ease when wearing clothes that belong to them. This was the first time she had chosen clothes for herself that she liked. The first time walking on this street, she just walked and walked without a destination. Eventually, she was drawn to a hot air balloon carriage. She stopped in front of it. It was the thing that Cornelia used to always be smug about, having flown on it with her parents. She walked closer, wanting to experience it for herself just once. But right then, the door was locked. The sight of the locked door brought back painful memories from her childhood. Back then, she was also locked up behind a bar door. She had cried "Is anyone there? Please open the door. I'll cry. I'll be good. So please don't lock me in here, Father. Open the door, Father." At this moment, she let go of her hand, intending to leave, when another hand holding a key reached out. She was startled and turned to look and was greeted by the sight of a handsome man. A cool, handsome man stood there. He said, "This thing, you can't open it without a key." The door was open, but Ingrid just stood there dumbfounded, busy wondering who this person was. Was he the manager of this area? Then he said, "Aren't you getting on?" She naturally extended her hand for him to help her up, and then sat with the posture of a graceful lady. Then she secretly glanced at him. When he looked back, she was startled and turned her head to the window to be less awkward. "Ha ha ha. Oh my heavens." Suddenly, the moon looked enormous, meaning she was amazed by the beauty of the night scenery. Whether it was the moon seen from the tower or the moon seen from here, that it didn't change, always brilliant. But this vast, beautiful sky, this was the first time she had ever witnessed it. It felt like a bird trapped in an iron cage, finally getting a day to spread its wings and fly. Happiness mixed with resentment. Just like that, tears streamed down and a gemstone fell out. She hurriedly caught it. What a close call. She almost lost a fortune. Just kidding. But to reveal her identity in front of a stranger like this would not be good at all. A hand holding a handkerchief was offered to her. +1 point for this thoughtful gesture. Lending a handkerchief without saying a word. This man was truly strange. Looking out at the vast sky, she told herself she could do it, starting over from this life. Ingrid's fickle attitude was really something. When she needed it, she held out her hand for him to help her up. Once she got what she wanted, she looked at him with disdain. She said, "Excuse me," and left abruptly, leaving the young man standing there alone. Returning to the tower, she looked out the window and thought that tonight. A moment later, as expected, outside the door, a purple-haired man known as the super thief appeared. He revealed a confident smile, thinking that behind that door was a naive princess, inexperienced with the world, sleeping. Not even a second after that thought, she was standing behind him. "Isn't the moon too bright for you tonight, Gasper?" He didn't understand why she knew his name. Then she held up a black stone. "Don't move." "I won't move." She remembered the time she met him. It was her 8th time regression. At that time, she was terrified when she saw him suddenly appear. Back then, he said he wouldn't harm her, so she shouldn't be afraid. Seeing the countless gemstones created from her tears, why was she so scared? Imprisoned in a dark tower, knowing nothing of the outside world, fear was unavoidable. He casually pocketed a few gems and extended his hand to her. Come now, don't stay in this dark place anymore. Come with me into the world out there. I promise I won't harm you. At that time, she had said, please, don't ever appear before me again. I understand. I will not appear before you again. I promise. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. His words had been in vain, because the day after that, she was murdered. Back in the present, Gasper said, all right, don't stare at me with such a scary face. I surrender. So, how do you want to deal with me? Hand me over to your father? Or behead me before dawn? Is that what you want me to do to you? No way. If you let me go this time, I'll do anything you say. You'd better keep your word. Immediately, he knelt down like a knight taking an oath. He said, I promise. Take as many gems as you want. In return, you must do one thing for me. The scene changes to the next morning. Her father was in a state of panic, searching all over himself for the purple quartz. At that moment, Ingrid walked in. Good morning, father. Did you sleep well last night? He turned to look and saw that in her hand, she was holding the stone he was looking for. He asked her how she got it. She said that when she woke up this morning, it was already on her bedside table. Last night, the task she gave to Gasper was to get the purple quartz from her father. It was her maternal grandmother's last tear. Because it was her grandmother's tear before she died, it had a very special power to counter those who use magic for evil purposes. She herself had been killed by that stone once. After falling into the time loop and dying and reviving countless times, she had panicked so much that she killed Cornelia and the servant beside her right then and there. At that time, she just wanted everything to disappear into nothingness. With that wish, she had intended to turn her father into dust as well, but at the final step, she was thwarted by that very amethyst. And in the end, for the crime of murdering Cornelia, she was executed. As long as that stone remained in his hands, she would be forever trapped in this tower. So, the night before, she had asked Gasper, the super thief, to retrieve it. Seeing the stone in her hand, he immediately put on a friendly smile. Ah, thank you for bringing it to me, my child. You know about it, don't you? The secret of the amethyst. It grows weaker when exposed to light. Ingrid, that stone is important to me. Stop playing around and get it back to me right now. Ever since grandmother passed away, you've always carried that stone with you. If I'm not mistaken, it's extremely fragile, isn't it? She reached out and took the golden lamp from the table. Seeing this, he panicked and yelled, what do you think you're doing with that? With one fluid motion, one hand placed the amethyst on the table, the other hand held the lamp, aimed at the target, and smash. With one strike, the stone shattered. He collapsed to the floor, gathering the pieces. Look what you've done. Do you think I'll just let this go after you smash the stone? Talking more would just be a waste of breath. She picked up a black stone and fragment. She touched the stone to the fragment. Immediately, the fragment turned to dust. Only then did he fall back, stunned by the power she now held. Cornelia, come to father. Father, are you all right? Calm down, father. She said that she needed a place to recuperate, so she would go to the Sasha family's mansion as a guest, because she had worked so hard for so long. After all, I asked that all right, father? Seeing the stone she held in her hand, he was speechless, stammering, unable to form words. Father, stop her. Father, what's wrong, father? Unable to rely on her father, Cornelia immediately stood up to stop Ingrid. Sister, wait for me. You're leaving while father's health is failing. It's not right to do this, sister. Cornelia thought her stone would tempt Ingrid, but Ingrid just replied coldly, it's a pity that our esteemed father is no longer of use to you, isn't it? Cornelia looked at the stones in her hand, thinking that she had never wanted such an ability. There was a time she had blinded herself, hoping that tears would no longer flow from them. But she was wrong, because tears still flowed from her eye sockets. As long as she held this power in her hands, time would continue to send her back to the past. She told herself, I have to end this quickly. Very quickly, the carriage brought her to the Sasha family mansion. In stark contrast to the gloomy atmosphere at her home, Sasha was enthusiastic and warmly welcomed her like a distinguished guest. Ingrid, I didn't think you would arrive so quickly. He carefully helped her down from the carriage. I'm very grateful for your invitation to be a guest. You don't need to be so formal. Sasha said that he was the one who was honored to meet her. He had thoughtfully prepared a magnificent, fully furnished room for her. What do you think? Do you like it? If there's anything you're not satisfied with, please let me know. Looking around the room, she only said 2 words, so spacious. Sasha said that she could go anywhere she liked. Just consider this your home and make yourself comfortable. And without my permission, you are not to go outside. Because he was worried that she would be captured by the Jandon family. Moreover, he didn't want to return her to the Jandon family at all. Her purpose in coming to the Sasha mansion was to find information about how to erase her inherent ability. But Sasha was always clinging to her all day, constantly coming to find her, which she found incredibly annoying. It wasn't until late at night that she had time to research. Holding the list of mages in her hand, she thought she might find a mage here who could erase another's ability. But after searching the entire list, there was no one. There was only one mage whose ability section was left blank. That was the mage Winter Clement. Perhaps she should start with him. Speaking of the Beamsmith family, it was a family famous for its mages who could use fire, especially Sasha, who was a rather powerful user of that ability in the family. He became the head of the family when he was only 12 years old, remembering the 7th time regression after having died and come back to life many times. And learning how to use the black diamond, she had escaped from the tower. At that time, she thought that if she just escaped from the tower, she would have a peaceful life. While running away, she bumped into Sasha. Just as she was about to fall, he caught her. Then he took off his cloak and draped it over her. It's not good to catch a cold, my lady. Please use this. It was the first time she had received such care. She shed tears, accidentally revealing her identity. Because of her special identity, Sasha at that time had said, "I vow to become a strong support for you." At that time, she had been blind, believing him to be the Prince Charming of her life. But it was all a lie, with the excuse of needing rubies to free her. She had foolishly trusted him and gave him a large quantity of ruby stones. Thanks to the rubies, his power increased. Sasha terrified her father, causing him to move her from this prison to his prison. In the end, even going outside was no better. He said, "How could those people out there know the value of your gemstones? Instead, isn't it happier to serve a famous mage?" But the time she cried out of anger would create the rubies that he needed. When he achieved his goal, he said, "I heard that a mage from the Jandon family can create the most powerful stone after death. It was Cornelia who told me that. If it's your tears, they could probably move the world." At first, I was skeptical, but now that I've witnessed it, it must be true. As soon as he finished speaking, he used his hand to clamp her mouth shut, then used his power to burn her. He said that she should feel honored to become a stepping stone for the most powerful mage in history. Back in the present, based on her memories of her past life, she went to the place where Sasha had previously imprisoned her. As expected, he was also imprisoning someone here now. She told the young man to try to wait a few more days and she would rescue him. After giving her message, she left. A moment after she left, Sasha came looking for her again. He said that he would organize a party for her next week, a party for mages. "Just as I hoped," she said. "I'm very much looking forward to the party. Ingrid, the guests will surely be stunned when they see you." She guessed that the purpose of the party was to show off his relationship with her. But that was fine. In any case, this relationship would end on that day. To prepare for an even grander party, Sasha had people prepare a one-of-a-kind formal dress for her. The maids here were all very friendly, and they even praised her as a beautiful young lady. At this point, Sasha asked her if she knew how to dance. She said that before she was locked up, she had been properly taught how to dance until she was 50. And the two of them danced together, getting familiar with the popular dances. While dancing, Ingrid probed for the list of mages invited to the party and specifically asked about the Clement family. She said that she had heard her father talk about that family before. In truth, it was just a lie. Sasha said that he had also sent an invitation to the Clement family, but it seemed the Clements didn't like attending parties very much. The Clement family always kept their family affairs secret. Outsiders knew almost nothing about their identity and their true strength. But there were also rumors that the Clement family had the ability to see through all things in the world to predict the future. That's why they hid their family's ability. Ingrid was stunned, as it was the first time she had heard of such an ability. Sasha told her to rest assured. In any case, they wouldn't be attending this time. If she still felt uneasy, she could just stay by his side. Very quickly, the day of the party arrived. The first thing she did that day was to go rescue the blonde-haired young man from the other day. She said, "Today, the mansion is hosting a party. There will be many guests, so the servants will be busy running back and forth. Take this opportunity to blend in with them and escape." He asked, "What about you? If you let me go, what will happen to you?" "It's fine, I have my own plan." At the Clement family mansion, they said that they were not interested in the party organized by the Red Fox of the Beamsmith house, but there was something that Fox was hiding in its den. Then the younger brother started to take an interest in the mage from the Jandon house. At the party that day, Cornelia was also present, thanks to her seductive ability. As soon as she appeared, she attracted everyone's attention and received a shower of compliments from them. Before long, that spotlight shifted to Ingrid when she entered with Sasha. People speculated that she was the one Sasha was infatuated with. Cornelia, standing to the side, was so angry she could burst. She could only curse silently, as she couldn't do anything to Ingrid. Cornelia walked over to mock Ingrid. "Attending a crowded party like this. Are you all right, sister? Stepping on your dance partner's foot while dancing is not acceptable, you know." Ingrid gently reminded Cornelia, "I think it would be better for both of us if you stayed away. Once the public knows the secret of the gemstones, the only one who will be humiliated is you." "Yes, you're right. Please enjoy the party, sister." At that moment, Sasha approached and invited her to be his partner for the opening dance. "Look, everyone is starting to pay more attention to you. Isn't it you they're looking at, my lord?" Sasha leaned close to her ear and said, "I keep a pet in the basement. For some reason, it escaped this morning. Do you know anything about this?" Sasha said that his strongest locks had been burned by someone, completely turned to ash. With a calm demeanor, she said, "Could it be that your pet broke it? That excellent pet of mine would never dare to do such a thing. Just like you. Why do you keep a pet in the basement?" "It's just one of my ways of raising pets, to make them obediently listen to their master." "Do you know anything about this, Ingrid?" "How would I know?" "Oh, I've been speaking insensitively while we're dancing again. To prevent your pet from escaping again, you should find a stronger lock. Next time, I will definitely prepare a stronger lock." Seeing the two of them coordinating so well in their dance, Cornelia angrily stormed outside. When asked where she was going, she put on a murderous expression and said she wanted to be alone. Fuming because Ingrid had stolen her spotlight, she accidentally bumped into a handsome, gentlemanly "My apologies, my lady. I was in a bit of a hurry. Are you hurt anywhere?" At that moment, her infatuation flared up. She was frozen for 5 seconds. After he left, she hurriedly chased after him. She thought to herself, "Who cares about Sasha anymore? This man is a perfect match for me." Disappointed by the absence of the Clement family, she was about to go inside when, immediately, Winter Clement appeared. His handsome, cool appearance attracted all eyes. No one knew when people started to say that wherever the Clement family was, there would be victory. In any battle with the Clement family, that battle would be won. After the battle, the thing people were most interested in was the power that the Clement family possessed. No one knew this secret. Winter's rare appearance inevitably sparked the curiosity of the guests. At this moment, Ingrid realized he was the man who had flown with her on the hot air balloon that day. Winter walked straight towards Ingrid to greet her. "You must be Lady Ingrid, correct?" "Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, my lord. I am from the Jandon family. I am Winter Clement. I am here on behalf of my sister, Grace, to thank you. A few days ago, to make sure the Clement family would be present, she had written a special invitation just for Winter's sister, Grace. Although she was a Clement, she was not a mage. Grace was the one who often represented Winter at social gatherings like this. That time, in the invitation, she had included a ruby stone. And indeed, it was effective. It's a great honor. But why didn't Lady Grace come? Because my sister is not a mage, she cannot attend the party. I'm ashamed of my lack of knowledge. But to be able to meet you, Lord Winter, is a great honor for me. If you are willing, perhaps we could dance." She was about to take this opportunity to ask about his ability when Sasha cut in. He said that he didn't expect the head of the Clement family to go to the trouble of coming to the party. "This party will surely become a rare event. I have also finished what I needed to do here, so please excuse me." "Oh, you're leaving already, my lord? I just wanted to show you some hospitality." Having lost her chance to approach Winter, Ingrid turned to leave but was pulled back by him. "Hey, where are you going?" "I want to see the night view outside for a bit." "If so, I'll go with you." "There's no need. I want to go alone." "You're lucky I haven't slapped you across the face yet, and you still want to follow me?" Ingrid hurriedly ran outside to catch up with Winter. Luckily, he was still standing there. Looking at his eyes, she thought, did he predict that Sasha and I would come here? Immediately, Sasha created a flame that separated her and Winter. You dare to date another man behind my back? Do you think I will overlook an action like this from you? I am simply using my power in my own mansion. You just happen to be standing there. Let's assume what you say is true. I no longer have any reason to stay in this place. So that's how it is. You've already found someone new. If only I hadn't thrown this party. Do you think I'll let you go that easily? The flames flared up after his words. A bunch of small fry. You think she's scared? Ingrid, holding a ruby, walked majestically through the fiercely burning flames. The effect of a ruby was still weaker than the amethyst. If Sasha truly wanted to attack, she would get burned. But well, if she got burned, she could just use a jade to heal it, right? Sasha was surprised that the ruby also had that ability. Seeing Winter standing silently from the beginning until now, Sasha wondered, is his ability to foresee the future? Or is he just standing still because he doesn't know what to do? Truly an unpredictable person. At this moment, Sasha increased the power in the flames, making them almost want to swallow. Ingrid, she only saw Winter mutter something. The flames immediately disappeared. Sasha could only look at his palm and think, where did my flame go? At this moment, Winter stepped forward to shield her. Now, that's enough, Beamsmith. If that fire had hit someone, it wouldn't just be an accident. Realizing he was at a disadvantage, Sasha said, I made you witness an unsightly scene. He said that he acted that way because of blind love. Winter said, all right, if you let her go. Sasha lowered his voice, realizing Winter is an all-powerful mage. If he acted rashly today, he would surely lose. He turned and left with the thought, if not now, then some other time. Just then, Winter turned to ask Ingrid, are you hurt? No, I'm fine. By the way, would you like to make a deal with me? At this sudden offer, he froze for 5 seconds. Ingrid said that her rubies had the ability to increase the power of mages. However many Winter wanted, she would give him on the condition that Winter take her away from this place and back to his mansion. Winter said, I've heard rumors that between the twin sisters, the one who creates the rubies is the younger sister. Rumors are, after all, just rumors. After a moment of thought, he said, I don't need gemstones, but you can come to my place. She froze for 5 seconds. It was the first time someone didn't need her rubies. What are you still standing there for? Aren't you coming? I'm coming. Well, as long as she had a place to stay. From inside the house, Grace, Winter's older sister, saw her younger brother bring a girl home for the first time, and a lovely girl at that. It was as if they had just met, but had known each other for a long time. Grace hugged her tightly. This made Ingrid have a huge question mark in her head. What is this, Winter? I didn't think you'd bring home such a lovely gift. Stop it, sister. It's not good to make her dislike you right after meeting. You worry too much. You're Ingrid, right? She asked. I'm Grace, this rude brat's older sister. Thank you for the wonderful gift last time. Ingrid was wondering what was happening here. Grace hugged her again, saying, so lovely. The imprisoned princess. It's no longer a fairy tale, but the truth. So adorable. Ingrid, make yourself at home. At this moment, Ingrid realized he didn't need the gemstones because he wanted to bring her back as a gift for his sister. It's true. Now, go change your clothes and have some tea. Doesn't this outfit make you uncomfortable? I'll pick a dress that suits you better. A week passed here. Her life became more peaceful than ever. The sisterly bond between the two of them was very close, completely different from her and her sister. Grace was a person of both talent and beauty. She knew how to treat people. Moreover, she was also very gentle with her. Furthermore, she was skilled in both literature and martial arts. She said that because she wasn't a mage, she had to find other ways to support her family. Therefore, the more she knew, the better. At that time, Ingrid thought that she didn't intend to get married. Marry someone? Immediately, she said, if I get married, my younger brother will be very lonely, right? Ingrid almost spat out her water because she answered the question in her thoughts exactly. To explain it, she said, everyone thinks that way. From beginning to end, her expression didn't change at all. She was truly a hard person to read. However, the harder person to read was the one with a handsome but cold appearance. He didn't open up to anyone except his older sister. A week had passed. The number of times she had met him could be counted on one hand. This couldn't go on. She decided to find a way to approach him. She was about to follow Winter. As she was about to enter the room, she was stopped by Grace. It's almost dinner time. Let's go. Grace said that the room over there was the only place she couldn't enter. Otherwise, she could go anywhere in this mansion. She was a special person, and Winter had allowed it. At the Jandorn mansion, Cornelia was furious because she had witnessed Ingrid getting into Winter's carriage and leaving that day. First it was Sasha, then it was Winter. Why does she keep getting in my way, she thought, believing Ingrid had used gemstones to lure them. She clearly showed her ignorance. An idea, born of naivety, crept into her mind. She said, "All right then, if you want it that way, I'll play along. I still have a pile of gemstones created over all these years. Controlling as many people as I want won't be a problem. It's rare to see you looking so angry, my lady. Don't look at me with that scary face. I brought some good news to cheer you up. Would you like to join hands with me, my lady? With someone who took my sister from the house on his own accord, only to let her get away, and you still have the nerve to appear before me so calmly? That's the crux of the matter. Do you know that your sister is currently at the Clement mansion? While your sister is having a great time, you're the one left with all the frustration, aren't you? I want to separate those two. What do I get for joining hands with you? Just listen to my plan, my lady. It's not too late to decide then." After some thought, Cornelia decided to join hands with him. She thought that since Sasha was a powerful person, joining hands with him would be more beneficial than harmful. If anything went wrong, she could just blame him. What a naive thought. After that, Sasha told her she could use the rubies to enhance her power of temptation. That way, she could control many people at once. Cornelia was probably delighted with this offer from Sasha. At this time, at the Clement mansion, Grace had prepared many beautiful dresses for her. Ingrid began to try on each one for her to see, changing back and forth over and over again, probably 80 or 90 times, and she still wasn't through the pile of clothes. The trouble was, a beautiful person looks beautiful in any outfit. Looking at the family portrait on the wall, Ingrid asked Grace, "Hey, sister, is it true that Winter chooses to live without getting involved with anyone? Is it because he doesn't want them to know about his ability? You should ask the person himself about that. But I don't have a chance. The boy's just shy. There's still one way to find out. Become my sister-in-law." Oh my, the thought makes me drool. Drooling. As long as you become this family's sister-in-law, you'll have the right to know. I would also warmly welcome such a lovely sister-in-law. Grace, please stop teasing me. At that moment, Winter entered the room. Looking around, he didn't see Ingrid anywhere and asked, "I heard Ingrid was here. Here she is. Where else?" Oh my, it was the huge pile of dresses blocking the view, so he couldn't see her. Winter said that a visitor had come for her. It was the blonde-haired man from the other day. "It's been a long time, my lady. My name is Charles Brain, a crafting mage. I'm glad you're safe and sound. To thank you for saving my life the other day." Charles Brain had made a necklace especially for her. At first, it looked very ordinary, until she put it on her neck. It immediately transformed into an incredibly beautiful necklace. Charles Brain said, "As expected of you, Lady Ingrid, Charles Brain is a crafting mage, someone who creates jewelry that can transform into forms that suit its owner. I heard you were a mage who uses gemstones, so I created a necklace for you to attach gemstones to. Perhaps that is also the reason why Sasha Batrice Brain aimed to have him craft items to attach gemstones to after taking them from you." Seeing that Ingrid intended to refuse the gift, Winter spoke up, "Mr. Brain, it's getting dark. I'm truly sorry, but I can't let you stay overnight." "Oh, is it that late already? I was very happy to see you today, Lady Ingrid." As they reached the carriage, Ingrid called out, "Mr. Brain, this necklace, I really can't accept it. The only thing I can do for you, my lady, is this. So I beg you, please keep it." Ingrid wondered, how can something so beautiful possibly suit me? Seeing Winter constantly watching their conversation, Charles Brain whispered to Ingrid, "Your decision to stay at this mansion, was it entirely your own intention?" "Not exactly. There have been many rumors about the Clements. Rest assured, I want to stay here." After Charles Brain left, only the two of them remained. Ingrid asked, "Why did you let me stay here while sending Charles Brain away?" "Because you're different from other mages." "How much do you know about me?" Looking at the necklace in her hand, he said, "That necklace is beautiful, but it doesn't suit me." "How can that be? Didn't he already say it?" "The true ability of a necklace is to transform into a shape compatible with the wearer's inner self." Judging by the necklace's reaction, perhaps your staying at this mansion is not wrong at all. At that moment, he was walking alone in the mansion's garden. He saw his sister trying hard, training diligently to be able to protect him. He remembered the past. Since he was a child, his father had repeatedly warned him to never tell anyone about his ability. His father although a man of ability, not exceptionally powerful, was always respected and admired by everyone. He was a gentle father, the future head of the family. From a young age, he underwent strict lessons, but in return, he was always loved by his father, mother, and older sister. He lived a happy and fulfilling life until his mother fell ill from plague. His mother's illness took a turn for the worse. Right at that moment, a stranger appeared, claiming to be a healing mage. He said he would cure his mother. In return, the boy had to tell him about the ability he possessed. At first, the boy didn't believe him, but after witnessing him heal an injured rabbit, which recovered after he touched it, it wasn't that he forgot his father's teachings, but the maid who had caught the disease had died. Eager to save his mother then, he told the secret to that man. The very next day, when the sun was at its peak, because the Clement family's weakness only appears at high noon. At that time, the stranger attacked the mansion. Sensing danger, his father pushed him into a nearby closet and told him not to come out until he gave permission. From inside the closet, he didn't know what was happening outside. He only heard the voice of the stranger from that day. He said, "You're the master of the Clement house, aren't you?" His father only had time to say, "Who are you?" before he was murdered by that man. Next came the noisy, chaotic sounds of soldiers announcing that the master had been murdered. The intruder had escaped, and they began to search for him. When no one was there anymore, he opened the door and stepped out. The scene before him was fresh blood all over the room, and his father had collapsed in a pool of blood. It was because he had revealed the secret that his father was killed. And from then on, the self-proclaimed healing mage also disappeared. To this day, his whereabouts have not been traced, but the secret was not seen to be leaked to the outside. Not long after his father's death, his mother followed him as well, for the Clement house to continue to exist. As soon as he inherited the position of family head, he threw himself into studying like a madman. As soon as his father's death was announced, they swarmed in to pry information from a child. They were all a bunch of hypocrites. He couldn't trust anyone. At this time, Ingrid had begun her plan. Once, she secretly tried to open the door to that room, but it was locked too tightly. She couldn't use her black diamond to open it, as that would destroy the door. After some thought, she decided to ask Gasper for help. Holding the ruby in her hand, she made it glow to summon him. At this moment, in that secret room, Winter was observing and discovered her intention. As soon as he stepped out of the room, he met Grace. She asked, "What did you see today?" Seeing his silence, she continued, "It's about Ingrid. I think you probably already know. The girl is planning something. There must be a deep reason hidden behind it, but I feel that it will absolutely not cause any harm to us. You know that." In Ingrid's room, Gasper was now present that it's been a while. "Are you still doing well? You're too late. Don't say it so lightly. This is the Clement house." Seeing Gasper too close to her, she said, "Don't you come any closer. I'm a gentleman, you know. Even though it's true, I enter young ladies' room this late at night. I won't do anything disrespectful." He held the glowing ruby and asked her, "What is this? You did this, right? Make it stop glowing. Instead, listen to what I have to say. I knew it would come to this. Your ability is spatial teleportation, isn't it?" Gasper said, "It suits a master thief perfectly, doesn't it? However, this ability has its limitations. I want you to use it to take me to a place I need to go. There is a room that only the head of the family can enter." "All right, you really haven't changed at all, always choosing strange things to do." "No problem. So, when do you plan for us to start?" "Tomorrow at noon." "Noon, not at night?" "The master of the house usually uses that room mainly at night. At noon, he will probably be out. So that's how it is. As you command, princess. Anyway, if you get caught and kicked out of here, it has nothing to do with me." "What are you talking about? Helping me means you're an accomplice." With that, she lay down to sleep, leaving him alone, trying to get her attention. "Hey, if you knew this, you should have planned more carefully." "Hey, Ingrid." The next day at noon, just as planned, Winter went out while Grace went to train. Hiding in a corner and watching, after seeing the opportunity had come, the two began their plan. "Are you ready?" "I'm always ready." With a snap of his fingers, she instantly disappeared and appeared right inside that room. But it wasn't what she thought. This room was too empty. She saw a stream of light in the middle of the room. She guessed this was a place used for some kind of ritual or where magic would be used. Assuming the rumors about the family seeing through everything in the world are true, does he hear prophecies from this window? At that time, he said she was different from other mages, so he also knows about my situation. Assuming he sees through everything that happens around him, that means my being in here is also. Immediately, the door to the room slowly opened. Turning to look, Winter was standing there, looking at her. Their 4 eyes met, and feeling awkward, she lowered her head and apologized. Winter said, "No, it's my fault for coming in at the wrong time. You knew early on and could have stopped me, right? I was interested to see what you would do. So, was it something beyond your prediction? That's a difficult question. The lock shows no signs of being broken. It seems the unpredictable factor was the use of a thief. But from the very beginning, you staying here was what was outside my prediction. I mean, if it were the you from before. Besides that night, have we met anywhere else? No. I'm asking, now that you know my ability, what do you intend to do? Can't you know my intentions with your ability? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Is that so? I thought you could see through everything. Ingrid, what do you ultimately want? Her expression changed instantly. She turned around and said, I think if only this ability would disappear. I want you to erase this ability for me. She thought, if only the gemstones were no more, she wanted to disappear from this world. Disappear from this filthy place, without leaving anything behind, not even a small speck of dust. Disappear completely. Is that what you want? If you were in a world where you no longer had to cry, then whether you have magical abilities or not wouldn't matter anymore. To this family, my ability is more valuable than my life. There is one thing my magic cannot grant your wish for. Is that so? She looked quite disappointed, but depending on the circumstances, I know a way to erase your ability. Then? What about then? Then I will be of help to you. As for when I'll find the way, I don't know yet. That's a pity. No, it's not like I'm in a hurry to find it. Winter turned to leave. Reaching the door, he turned back and said, I haven't said anything to Grace at all about there being a thief in the house. There's no need to say it. At this moment, Grace had already caught Gasper. You must know where you've set foot, don't you? Of course, I know where I've set foot, but I had urgent business. Are you a female knight? That's so cool. You seem quite at ease. To be honest, I was invited here by someone who lives here. Immediately, she thought of Ingrid. You probably figured out already. It was Ingrid who called me here. Why would Ingrid invite you? I can't say, but I'm absolutely not lying. Aren't you tired of pointing your sword at me this whole time? I'm not doing anything, so put the sword down. Not a chance. My existence is to protect this family. Until I confirm everything is safe, I will not lower my sword. That's fine too. I don't dislike cautious people like you. Ingrid came out of the room and saw this scene. She hurriedly ran over. Seeing her, he was overjoyed. With a snap of his fingers, he instantly appeared next to Ingrid. You're back? I'm sorry, Grace. I was the one who called him here. Grace was fuming for letting him escape so easily. Despite what happened that day, he acted as if nothing had happened. She left the mansion, putting that matter aside. She was curious about Grace and Gasper. What happened between the two of them when she wasn't there? Gasper seemed to like Grace. He often came here to visit. Hey, are you two listening to me? You keep rambling on next to us. How could anyone not hear? An exhibition? What for? That's right, in the capital. Every few years, they organize a super grand festival. There, mages will display their works to show their power to everyone. Each time it's held, it gets even grander. What? You really haven't heard, have you? Let's go visit it together. Our family isn't suited for festivals. How boring. It's good to go sometimes, Ingrid. What do you think? Ingrid wants to go too, right? Me? I guess it's okay. Very quickly, the day of the exhibition arrived. Grace seemed to really enjoy this trip. It's so lively. Ingrid couldn't help but be surprised by the bustling scene at this festival. They began their tour. Gasper said, I didn't expect you to go too. I've saved quite a bit on travel expenses with the master of the Clement house here. Being here was too tiring with Gasper constantly chattering in his ear. Winter quickened his pace and walked ahead. Gasper revealed an expression as if he was plotting something. He had probably set his sights on some item at the exhibition. Grace had just gone somewhere else. Winter came forward and asked her, Ingrid, what are you thinking? I don't think you came here to enjoy the festival. I'm not thinking about anything. It's just that I recently received an invitation from my younger sister. Our relationship is not good, unlike you and your sister. The letter was filled with words of concern for me. It sounded even more disgusting than curses. A not-so-good relationship. Yet you accepted the invitation and came here. Rest assured, I have no intention of making peace with her. It seems she's plotting something. This exhibition, I heard the Jan Dorn house invested a not-so-small amount of money. So Cornelia will have quite a lot of control. With a thoughtful expression, she looked at the square. The exhibition area was made of ice. She thought, no matter how hard it is to melt, there will come a time when it melts and disappears. Just great. As soon as she stepped through the gate, she was stopped by the guards. We can't let you pass. I knew something would happen. Let me pass. I have an invitation here. How do we know what a person like you will do with the exhibits? It had been a long time since she had seen this kind of look. They had fallen for Cornelia's temptation. Now, all she could do was wait for the other two to come and get her. A moment later, Winter returned. Hey, who are you? Seeing the crest on his clothes. It was the crest of the Clement house. Is there a problem? No, sir. Nothing at all, sir. Then why did you dare to stop her? I don't know what you're mistaken about, but she is my friend. Let her pass. The poor soldier almost wet his pants, folks. Ingrid, I'm sorry for going ahead and leaving you alone. Did something happen? It's nothing. Is that so? Let's not separate again, okay? I won't get lost again. As soon as she stepped inside, she noticed the unusual behavior of the people. All eyes were on her. Perhaps because she was walking next to the Clement siblings, they didn't dare to gossip. At this moment, a little boy caught her attention. The boy had lost his mother and was running to find her when he tripped and fell. She walked over and asked, "Are you okay? Does it hurt a lot?" Seeing the boy's leg, she told him, "Close your eyes." Then she took out a ruby to heal the boy's wound. Immediately, the boy's pain was gone, and he was happy again. At that moment, the boy's mother also arrived. "Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay you." "Oh no, you don't have to worry about it." Seeing how Ingrid handled the situation, the Clement siblings gave a satisfied smile. As for Cornelia, at this moment, she was using all her power to tempt the people at the exhibition, especially the guards. She used her power of temptation to tell them, "If you see my sister, remember to be careful. I don't know what she'll do." The gemstone lit up, and they all memorized her words. Cornelia's face was now full of wickedness. "Just you wait, big sister." Cornelia and Sasha had spread rumors among the nobility that Ingrid was a wicked woman who ignored the kindness of Mr. Sasha to cling to the Clements. In contrast, the younger sister was very saddened by the actions her sister had caused. A compassionate and charitable younger sister. This exhibition was also able to open thanks to Cornelia. Cornelia's triumphant face at this moment. She thought, as long as this plan succeeds, her sister will have to come back and kneel at her feet. As long as it goes according to her plan, it will even make Mr. Winter disappointed in her. Returning to the mansion in the suburbs. At this time, the Clement siblings had also noticed a problem. Something is definitely happening, right? How much do you know? The younger sister has started some plan with that red fox. For now, that's all I can see. I don't know what she has planned. Grace turned to look for Ingrid. "Ingrid, I want to take you somewhere." "Where are we going, sister?" "We are going to my friend's mansion. It's a good way to lift your spirits, isn't it? Are you still bothered by the soldiers stopping you at the exhibition?" "Of course. What did you do to deserve such baseless, scrutinizing gazes?" "So you're planning to gather more information?" "Exactly. That friend of mine lives in the capital, so she's well informed about all the news circulating among the nobility. You must have noticed it too. The ones who look at you with that attitude are all from the upper class." It was then that Ingrid realized, besides the guards and the nobility, no one else showed any attitude towards her. Right now, there was also something she wanted to test. They quickly arrived at Grace's friend's house. "It's a pleasure to have you, Lady Grace." "It's been a long time, Barbara." "Lady Grace, really? You should come up to the capital every once in a while. And this young lady is my dear friend, Ingrid Jandon." Ingrid Jandon. Barbara's expression immediately changed upon hearing her name. He's having second thoughts again, but whatever. "It's a pleasure to meet you for the first time, my lady. I am Ingrid Jandon. Please take care of me." After all sorts of greetings, now the three of them sat down to chat and enjoy tea. Lady Barbara said, "To be graced by Lady Grace's visit today, I am truly honored. Thank you for inviting me, Barbara. It's so peaceful here. I can't get used to the hustle and bustle of the city. This place calms me down." At this moment, Barbara no longer held back. She laughed and said, "I'm quite surprised to see an uninvited guest as well." This reaction from Barbara left Grace feeling confused. As for Ingrid, she seemed accustomed to such things, so she calmly continued to enjoy her tea as usual. Grace spoke up. She had an official invitation to attend the exhibition. "Don't you know very well how much the Jandon house sponsored this exhibition?" Grace thought that Barbara's family had also received considerable benefits from it, so naturally, she should have been more welcoming. But instead, Barbara still believed the rumors. She said, "The one who put in all the effort this time was Lady Cornelia. She is truly a capable person." Instead, it said that the older sister flits from one noble to another, no different from a parasite. According to the rumors, after the Beamsmith house treated her like a queen, she just up and left without a word of farewell. Just as Ingrid had initially suspected, it turned out Sasha also had a hand in this. "I don't mean to meddle, but Lady Grace, shouldn't you be more careful about the company you keep? Wouldn't that be better?" "You are meddling. Seeing the way Barbara spoke, Grace sensed that something was wrong, because she had always been a person who was careful, choosing her words before speaking. Glancing at Ingrid with a worried expression, she thought, if I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have brought Ingrid along. Is this too much? But is there any other reason you dislike her? Nothing in particular. I, however, think there is. Seeing that Grace seemed upset, Ingrid thought it was time for her experiment. Ingrid took the 6th gemstone and held it out in front of Lady Barbara. Barbara was startled. What are you planning to do? The gem was breaking the seduction spell on her. A moment later, Barbara slowly opened her eyes. At this point, Cornelia's seduction spell was no longer on her, so she found the light to be pleasant and warm. The 6th gemstone, after removing the seduction from her, had now turned completely black. Retrieving the gem, Ingrid asked, "Do you still hold a grudge against me?" Barbara touched her face and said, "I'm not sure what's happening, but no longer have the same thoughts as before." Then that's good. The reason Barbara was targeted by Cornelia was because she is a noble lady with extensive connections. I told you Ingrid didn't do anything wrong. If Lady Grace says so, then Ingrid cut in. You don't need to force yourself to believe it. There's no proof anyway. At this moment, Barbara thought to herself, I heard rumors that her personality was wicked and promiscuous, but she doesn't seem like that at all. Instead, I would be very grateful if you would tell me everything you know about the rumors concerning me. About that lady, they say that to fund her lavish lifestyle, she engaged in illegal business. They also say she smuggled Lady Cornelia's tears to a third party for profit. The rumors are just too wild. Ingrid stood up and said, "Thank you for your cooperation." Grace looked at Ingrid and thought, wow, is it over already? Ingrid also looked at Grace and smiled, as if to thank her. Seeing Ingrid looking as if a burden had been lifted, Grace also smiled. It seems what I did was helpful to the child. Thank you for today, Barbara. Oh, there's one more thing, my lady. Could you listen to me? After they left, Barbara went to her room to think. I can't believe I was put under a magic spell by Lady Cornelia, but I can't rule out the possibility that the older sister used a gemstone to frame me. But if that were the case, Lady Grace would not forgive such an act. Just then, a servant informed her that Cornelia had come to see her. With that same two-faced expression, Cornelia said, "I'm so happy to see you again. Today, I have another favor to ask of you." A favor? That's right. She stepped closer and brought a ruby near her seduction stone to increase its seductive power. The stone glowed as she said, "There's a place that a well-connected lady like you must absolutely visit. Will you?" Yes, Lady Cornelia. The seduction of Lady Barbara was successful. Cornelia revealed her foxy expression. After returning to the Winter Mansion, she had received an invitation from Cornelia. At this point, she had decided to go there alone to meet Cornelia. Just as she reached the door, Winter stopped her. "Are you going out?" "What about Grace?" "I have to go today." With a worried expression, Winter asked, "To meet your sister?" "Yes." She wondered just how much he knew. "Didn't you say before that you didn't want to make up with your sister?" "Of course." She showed him the invitation. "But the child said she wants to meet privately, so I have no choice but to go. What else can be done? If you want to, then go. But don't do anything dangerous. You don't need to worry. I will absolutely not do anything that affects you or Grace." "All right then. I have to go to be on time." Winter thought with a headache. I still haven't been able to tell her. I don't want to interfere with her intentions. But remembering last time, Ingrid acted regardless of the danger. He was worried because she never cared about her own safety. Winter turned and went back into that secret room. At this time, at the meeting place, there was that same two-faced expression. "I'm so happy to see you, sister. I was so worried about you." "Worried about what? Afraid I'd be given the cold shoulder at the Clement house?" "Oh, I didn't mean that at all. I was just worried you wouldn't be able to come and go freely there, that you wouldn't be as comfortable as at home. Is that all? I was also afraid you'd get caught up in unnecessary dangers." "Dangers? Although I trust you completely, what if you were taken advantage of by bad people, tricked into doing terrible things? What then? You don't need to worry unnecessarily. Is there anything else to say?" It seemed she couldn't stand that expression. She left quickly. Cornelia chased after her. "Sister, oh sister, I'm sorry. Did I make you angry? Wait for me." Seeing her leave, the people there began to gossip. They said Ingrid was a cold person. Poor Cornelia. But Ingrid paid no mind to these things. To achieve her goal, Cornelia tried to keep Ingrid there. Have you seen the Jandon family's gallery yet? It displays all the gemstones from previous generations. You must go see it. Knowing Cornelia had her own agenda, she was willing to play along. "All right, lead the way." Thought she was a chicken, but turns out she's just feed. "Girl, you're celebrating too soon. By the time Ingrid left the exhibition area, it was already dark. She thought that Cornelia seemed satisfied, while she herself felt like she was in hell, because Cornelia was someone who would rather die than be close to her. Yet, to play the role of a caring, worried younger sister, the child endured it to act her part perfectly. In that respect, she naturally found herself admiring Cornelia. But through today, she had also gathered a good deal of information. At this moment, in a rather deserted small alley, she looked up at the moon and thought, "The moon is always so beautiful, isn't it?" Then, from behind, a strange man appeared, holding a club, intending to physically assault her. In the nick of time, she managed to take out a black diamond. With a light touch, the club instantly vanished. She looked so cool, folks. The stranger was now so scared he couldn't speak or even move. She turned around and said, "There's still one more person lying in wait over there, right?" So this was the reason Cornelia held her back. They wanted to prevent her from using gemstones, so they intended to knock her unconscious. But it's a great pity. That method won't work on her in this life. In the previous timeline, they had also waited for her to go out without gemstones to assassinate her. So this time, she had more or less anticipated it. She raised a hand full of gemstones and said, "However many of you there are, just come out. The amount here should be enough." The stranger immediately got scared and trembled more than a bouncing spring. He turned to run away. She shouted, "Stop." He immediately stopped and returned to her position. "My friend's standing over there. If you don't want to be turned to ash, showing yourself would be a wise idea." "All right, take me there now." The young men, surprised, said in unison, "Huh? Take me to the place you were originally planning to take me." After leaving the meeting, she was ambushed by two strangers. Immediately after, she quickly subdued them and demanded they take her to the place they had originally intended to abduct her to. Right at this moment, two people were enjoying themselves, thinking they had subdued her. Sasha, holding a wine glass, said, "Isn't tonight a beautiful night, Cornelia? Is the matter progressing well?" "Of course. I received news that Lady Ingrid has arrived at that place." Cornelia said, "I don't need your thanks. It would be troublesome if rumors of us having a secret date at night reached Lord Winter's ears." "TSK, really?" he asked. "Do we have to use such a roundabout method?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, you could have brought her directly to your place after capturing her, or killed her right there afterward. Do you have any idea how meticulously I planned this? It would be troublesome if we weren't thorough and the Clement house found out. We had to make them lose all faith in Lady Ingrid, so that even if she wants to explain, she can't. Then, no matter how much the Clement house tries to protect her, we can easily bring her back here. Because she is your older sister, right? That way, Lord Winter will see the light. And of course, they will understand that you are the one who holds power in the Ranger house. He will surely try to indulge you." Hearing Sasha say that, her eyes shone like stars. "That's right. And for that reason, I need you to continue doing a little more. I will not participate, so I'm counting entirely on you." With a confident expression, she said, "As if I would fail." After saying that, she left with a gleeful expression, thinking, now the stage is about to open. At this moment, Winter was looking up at the sky. He could see that they were planning to cause trouble for him. What shameless foxes. After hearing the rumors from Grace, he was certain that the royal guards were about to move elsewhere, so he could easily find her location by tracking her sister's movements. But it seems Ingrid is planning something. Now, things might happen that are beyond expectations. Winter hurriedly stood up and left. Reaching the door, he paused. He thought, does she need my help? Could it be that she has already planned for everything? No, that can't be. She said she wouldn't get me and Grace into trouble. At that moment, Grace came looking for him. When? Grace, what is it? Hasn't Ingrid returned yet? She has probably been taken. Grace asked in surprise. If that's the case, why are you still standing here in a daze? With a troubled expression, he thought, she doesn't want my help. Grace could see his thoughts. She said, Winter, you're being too rational. What do you want to do now? Ask yourself, do you really feel okay just waiting here? After hearing what Grace said, he hurriedly put on his coat and said, no. There's no way I can just stand by and do nothing. At this time, Ingrid had been brought to a hall crowded with attendees. A man was on stage with an item up for auction. She realized this was definitely an illegal auction, and this must be the first one. Behind the glamorous facade of the fair were transactions hidden in the night. The items being sold were all illegal. Of course, everything was illegal, but this was the true decadent side of the nobility. Everyone was familiar with it. However, if anyone was exposed, they would be ruined immediately. This was the truth behind the cruel rumors. What the child wanted to frame was the greedy older sister, who sold her younger sister's tears. This plot is so Cornelia style. But but compared to her usual methods, it's a bit roundabout. Now, the gemstones will surely be put up for sale. My presence here is mainly to create suspicious evidence that I participated in an illegal auction. This is the reason I was brought here, and to have witnesses who see my presence. The child has even brought people under her seduction spell. What do I need to do to be able to leave comfortably, to put an end to matters more important than rumors? Just as she predicted, gemstones appeared on the stage. The host said, and now, the moment everyone has been waiting for. Allow me to introduce tonight's highlight. Cornelia was approaching, followed by two soldiers. Using her two-faced expression, she said, "Come on, don't falter now. Someone needs to tell my sister that she can't do bad things." "Yes, Lady Cornelia," a soldier said, "following your law-breaking sister to a place like this, you are so brave and kind." Her thought now was, I'm about to get to criticize my dear sister. My sister must be held by Sasha's subordinates by now and forced to sit in the audience at the auction. If she can't use her gemstones, she can't do anything. And then she would walk in and pretend not to know about her sister's involvement in the illegal act. The beautiful, respectable younger sister would appear and feign, "Sister, what are you doing in a place like this? Unbelievable. If I cry like that, everyone will pay attention." Anyway, the gemstones will be brought out as an auction item, and my sister has to appear in the audience. No matter if she causes a scene or tries to explain, surely no one will believe her. Besides, I prepared a few more things today. Standing before the door, she put on her disgusting expression. "I've won, sister." Then she pushed the door open with gusto, shouting loudly, "Sister, what are you doing in a place?" Then her voice immediately got stuck in her throat. It was just that kind of embarrassing moment, because she didn't see Ingrid in the audience. "She's not here. What happened?" He said he brought her here. At this moment on the stage, Ingrid said, "What are you doing?" That should be my line. At this, Cornelia quickly turned her back. Ingrid, holding a black diamond, gently placed it on the rubies. Instantly, those gemstones turned to dust. The host could only hold his head in panic. Rewinding to a moment before Cornelia entered with her people, Ingrid had gone up on stage. Holding a black diamond in her hand, she touched the rubies being auctioned. The host could only shout, "Who are you? What are you doing?" The whole hall was in an uproar at her action. Just then, Cornelia opened the door and walked in. "Sister, what are you doing in a place? What are you doing?" I think I should be the one saying that. Ingrid took off her mask herself. Cornelia was horrified. She wondered, how does she still have gemstones? She hurriedly ran onto the stage. "So the rumors are true, sister? Because of greed, you brought my gemstones to sell at this place. You didn't have to do that. You could have just told me." Ingrid cut her off. "Sorry for interrupting while you were acting so astonishingly. But if I needed money, I wouldn't have turned them to dust. I heard gemstones were being sold, so I came here to destroy them. It would be very dangerous if these rubies were to circulate uncontrollably. The Ranger House is responsible for managing rubies. If you didn't bring them here, then tell me who did." That's when she looked down from the stage. Everyone was criticizing her. That's right. Who could it be if not her? She must have destroyed it because she lost her composure. How despicable. Poor Lady Cornelia. Just like how she tarnished the honor of the One-Smith house. Ingrid wondered, how could she use her charm on everyone here? At this moment, she gave a triumphant smile. "Oh, sister, you shouldn't lie." She was very confident because everyone was on her side. They were saying, clearly, she must be responsible for everything. She is so greedy and despicable. Compared to Lady Cornelia, she is truly worthless. Suddenly, she became the center of criticism. She said, "That's right, lying is not good. The clear truth is that my tears have come to this place. It's so annoying." Ingrid held a number of rubies in her hand. She performed the spell to dispel seduction. Immediately, the rubies in her hand emitted light. And then everyone in the audience below was freed from Cornelia's seduction. What am I doing here? Seeing that people were no longer seduced, Cornelia broke into a cold sweat. Impossible. Why has my charm disappeared? Ingrid said, "I have cured them. Perhaps everyone was deceived by you." Ingrid thought, now is the time to turn public opinion. But immediately, Cornelia collapsed. Grabbing her hand, she cried and said, "How could you, sister? Why do you keep putting all the blame on me? Even though I ran to this scary place to help you. I was so worried about you. But then you came and took the gemstones. That's enough, Cornelia." She put on that disgusting expression again. The brainless people below. Did Lady Ingrid make Lady Cornelia cry? She said Lady Ingrid was the one who smuggled gemstones into the black market. Really? But look, she doesn't even intend to comfort Lady Cornelia. Ingrid hadn't anticipated this. because she had destroyed the seduction, but her power wasn't the issue. She thought, people always side with Cornelia. It's not because I did something wrong. It's just because Cornelia cries when she's happy, while I cry when I'm sad. But is it always like this? I'm always sad and crying when there's nothing to cry about. Why not? I need to continue doing what needs to be done. Ingrid was trembling and about to shed tears. Then a hand touched her. It was Winter. He said, "You don't have to listen. You don't have to listen to those things, Ingrid." Earlier, Lord Winter, we have blocked the back door and the secret tunnel, as you said. Good. If anyone causes trouble, just mention the Clement house's name. It seems many guests were forced to come here this time. I don't want this matter to be blown out of proportion. Yes, we can rush in at any time. Forgive my rudeness. He thought, she doesn't want to be protected. This is just my own selfishness. Her emotions have reached me. I want to protect her. I will go first, you follow behind. At this moment, Gasper also suddenly appeared. Oh, my lord, you're making an expression I didn't expect. Thanks to you people playing such a big game, getting here is easier. On the other hand, my arm has become sore. Winter asked, what are you doing? If you want to go in, then go in quickly. Gasper raised his hand and flicked his fingers. Winter instantly disappeared and appeared right on stage behind her, to everyone's astonishment. But at that moment, Ingrid knew nothing. Looking at her now, a pained expression. Ingrid, are you fighting against those gazes all by yourself? Their words mean nothing. So he reached out his hand and said, you don't have to listen to those words, Ingrid. She asked in surprise, why are you here? Seeing her hand trembling, he took it and said, it's because I was worried about you. A surprised expression. She thought, why does this person always help me? Cornelia, having been forced to watch their public display of affection, had run out of tears to cry. She was thinking, Lord Winter, where did he appear from? More importantly, she saw them holding hands. She was so angry, she gritted her teeth. Why don't you just bite your tongue and die? A cunning, deceitful expression. She immediately thought of a plan. Well, all right. What I need to do is humiliate her in front of Lord Winter. She put on the appearance of a gentle lady. A good day to you, Lord Winter. Although you have taken care of my sister, it's a shame that things have turned out this way. What do you mean, sister? I have done unforgivable things, like selling magical items at an auction. I understand what you're talking about. However, it would be unfair if I did not listen to your sister's opinion. Ingrid saw the way he looked at her. She knew what she had to do. She said, it's not me. There is someone who wants to talk to you. Right, Miss Burra? Lady Barbara appeared with a displeased expression looking at Conria. Everyone started murmuring again. Lady Barbara, why? From a stage, she said loudly, let me say this first. I'm not one to frequent a place like this. I think everyone here is the same, because we are here because of Lady Conria, for calling us here. Wait a moment now, Conria realized things were getting worse. Lady Barbara continued. Every time the gemstone on Lady Conria's chest glows, that is when she is using magic. Isn't it the same for everyone? At least before coming here, everyone has met her, right? Did that gemstone glow? If that's true, then Lady Conria did visit me, yo. I don't remember what happened after that. So why are we here? Perhaps this was the first time in her life Conria had to endure those gazes. Her face showed clear fear. Conria was the type to keep trying as long as she was breathing. She laughed and said, no, I don't know how long you intend to joke, but you've gone too far, Lady Barbara. I was also entrusted with an important task at the fair, so it's not surprising to meet many people. It's all lies. Try using the ornament on your chest. Why don't you use your temptation on them again? Sister, what are you talking about? I have something better. Ingrid took out 3 gemstones of 3 different colors. She said, do you want to try crying here together? You're so selfish, sister. I can't cry if I'm not sad. So if you ask me to cry now, it's very difficult. Then we can't test it. The truth is Ingrid wasn't sad at the moment, so she couldn't cry anymore. Everything has been arranged, Conria. At this moment from outside, the royal army marched in young Master Winter. He glanced over at Conria. Only then did she realize she had truly lost. She thought, no way. Do they want to arrest me? I don't like this in front of crowd. She hurriedly grabbed Winter's arm. Young Master Winter, please believe me, okay? Because you're someone who listens to both sides. My sister is a pathological liar. Winter looked at her with a cold gaze, then pushed her hand away. Lady Conria, I don't understand you very well, but I think I understand her a little. Ingrid is innocent. The illegal trade of magical items is an unacceptable use of magic. And finally, for the kidnapping of Ingrid Rander, Winter gestured to his subordinate. Arrest Conria Rander. And so the auction ended. Of course, the nobles affected by Conria's temptation will be escorted back by the guards. Royal Lady Ingrid, I apologize for my rudeness at the tea party. It's all right, it's not your fault. Her face brightened as if a burden had been lifted. Lady Barbara said cheerfully, well, Then please come visit with Lady Grace again. I will go talk to those who are still confused. Here you are. As for Conria, she was taken away by the knights. I was threatened by young Master Sasa to do this. I did nothing wrong. I am a magician of the Rander house. Do you know what will happen? If you mistreat me, huh? If Sasa was really involved, he certainly wouldn't have left any evidence. Even if Conria is not imprisoned, she probably won't be allowed to leave the mansion for a while. Thinking back to his earlier words, it was because I was worried about you. She looked at Winter. He asked, is something wrong? It's nothing. Then let's go back. Sister Grace is very worried. During the whole way back, she kept stealing glances at Winter. Each time he would ask what's wrong, she still gave the same answer, nothing. This time, mustering all her courage, she said, thank you. You don't need to worry. That place should have been shut down a long time ago. It's not about that. She pulled on Winter's sleeve. I thank you for trusting me. Only then did she remember. She really knew nothing about Winter. Is it because of your ability? You believe me because of your ability. Things like selling illegal rubies. You wouldn't do things like that, right? With a shy face, she asked, how do you know? Winter recalled the images he had seen. He said a person who rushes to help a fallen child wouldn't do things like that just like before. Her heart began to race. She wondered why her heart was so strange, why it was beating so fast. Why even though I don't feel sad, it feels like tears are about to fall. Despite trying to hold them back, a tear fell. The strange thing was it was a gemstone she had never seen before. Until now her tears would be aquamarine from tears of sadness, black diamond from disgust, ruby from anger, and finally the time-reversing red diamond. But as for this stone, she didn't understand what it was. Winter reached out to wipe her tears. All time seemed to stop. What's wrong? Are you crying? Even so, they just turn into gemstones. There's no problem. But are you really crying? Oh my. Wiping tears and wiping someone's nose like that. A little embarrassed. She thought it must be because it's hot. She hurriedly said, Sister Grace is waiting. So let's go quickly. He looked after her and said, you're red. Your face is red. Are you okay? What if you have a fever? Are you really okay? At this time at the Sasa mansion, young master, it seems Lady Conria has been detained. He didn't seem to care about this at all. He thought, I don't care whether it went smoothly or not. Even if it failed, it doesn't affect me. Don't they have no evidence at all? Yes, sir. Even the kidnappers don't know about the Smith family's involvement. Well, if anyone finds out the Smith family was involved, I'll be ruined too, haha. Lady Conria, no matter how many times you mention me, Clement can't arrest me. This is really convenient for me. He said you've acquired all the rubies that the lady sold at the auction. Right, yes, except for the box that was turned to ash. And then the name on Smith will surely not be mentioned. Is that progressing well too? Yes, we'll be done soon. Very good. He was thinking, is Conria a third-rate magician? She doesn't even know how valuable rubies are. Well, I guess the only thing in her brain is killing. Her sister, how pitiful. Ingrid, your sister, wasn't satisfied with just putting in the auction. So she also sold your tears to this place. These rubies are water. These are tears of anger. I want to make you so angry. Ingrid, and this is Gasper. In his hand, he was holding a ring, and that was his purpose for participating in the exhibition this time. The bustling festival finally ended, and everyone returned to the Clement mansion. Although it wasn't the same as before, she had returned to her daily life. At this moment, Gasper was face down on a pillow looking at Ingrid. He said, please help me. First tell me what happened. That matter he recalled that night at the festival. He got past a few guards and used her ruby to get a ring. Ingrid seemed angry when she heard that. Why did you use a ruby for that? Again, don't you already know? So why did you steal that ring? I didn't steal it, I just took it back. You took the ring, so why? Did you propose to Sister Grace afterwards? Gasper, she said no. At that time I saw you guys at the black auction. Had returned before arriving at the mansion. Oh, Grace. What is she doing in front of the mansion at this hour? Only to see Grace muttering, Ingrid, are you okay? Come back quickly. At this moment, the headmaster came out and said, Ingrid and the others will be back soon. Where have you been? How were you worried about me? Of course. How could you disappear for days without a word? You should have at least said something. At that moment, Gasper took out a ring. He put it on his little finger and let down his hair. When Sister Grace saw the ring and the bluish-purple hair, could it be your Gasper? He smiled and took Sister Grace's hand, then knelt down and said, Grace, will you marry me? Everyone was surprised by Gasper's action. I will completely quit my current job. I will always make you happy, no? Of course not. It was a rather awkward scene. That's why Gasper had been face down on the pillow. Did she have to be so blunt? Anyone would feel awkward if you said it so suddenly. That's just how it is, but there was no other way, because I felt I had to say it right at that moment. She's a strong person, but she can't always be that strong. I understand. I'll go talk to Sister Grace, but don't get your hopes up too high. And so Ingrid went to Sister Grace's room. In front of the room, she looked at the green stone and thought, I also have something I need to do. What will be fine? although I've never given love advice. Asking directly isn't very good, is it? So I won't rush Sister Grace. I'll slowly lead the conversation slowly. Slowly, all right. At this moment, she knocked on Sister Grace's door. May I come in? Is something wrong? After thinking for a moment, she asked, why did you reject Gasper? Ingrid's blunt question made Grace freeze. Sister Grace was also dumbfounded by her question, because until now, Ingrid only ever did things that benefited herself. Ingrid is grown up, huh? Well, the owner of the Goodwill ring has dark purple hair. So what do you know about the twin clan? Come here with me. Sit down and let's talk. And this is the story as told by her. There was a noble family called the Twin Clan, with their innate magical abilities. It was a clan that always acted mysteriously, with the Goodwill ring in hand and hair, like the color of sunset. No one could find them. In times of difficulty, they were the ones who helped this world a great deal. But when the world became peaceful, people ignored what had happened before. After that, the Twin Clan was falsely accused and executed. However, at that very moment, the Clement family stood up to object. It was clear to see that this accusation was aimed directly at the Twin Clan. However, it seems they had also grown to hate this mortal life. They gave up their titles and disappeared. That's the end of the story about Gasper. It seems they had an unexpectedly happy life, huh? Ingrid thought. At that time, Sister Grace had realized Gasper's true identity. But the story doesn't have the answer you want. Grace said, am I not the eldest daughter of the Clement house? If he wants to walk the thorny path to restore his clan, then I am not capable enough to stand by his side. But him, does Gasper really want to restore his clan? How would I know? Being asked so suddenly, how could I possibly answer yes? I may look like this, but I've received many marriage proposals, you know. Besides, I'm not as cute as you, Sister Grace. Their family no longer has parents. Sister Grace had to become strong to protect Winter and this family, even though she really likes cute things. How long has she been suppressing it? She stood up holding the bear and left. What is it? Ingrid then suddenly gave the bear to Sister Grace and said, I think Sister Grace is very cute, all right. Gasper said he likes mature-looking people. Grace was immediately embarrassed by what Ingrid said. That evening, she thought a lot about it. Sister Grace is so cute. Why has my heart been feeling so warm lately? Moreover, thinking about the image from before, Ingrid was a little shy and embarrassed. She fumbled under her pillow for an emerald. Holding the stone in her hand, she thought, although this gemstone is just an emerald, it is related to a warm feeling. She thought, it seems I become like Conria, able to cry when feeling happy. She said it's just an illusory happiness. No matter what this tear is, my goal is just to find out its ability. At the Rander mansion, Conria was screaming loudly. Why can't I leave my room? The servant said, I'm just following the master's orders. Then let me speak directly to father. He is busy, so please don't go to his room. She was furious, knowing that even her father didn't want to get involved in this matter. Then get out of here quickly. Then she pushed the servant down and slammed the door. Now standing alone in that room. Why doesn't father want to see me? Young Master Sasa hasn't made a move either. What is high society saying about me? Why did this happen? Why can't I leave my room? Isn't this just like my sister before? Now, standing in front of the mirror, she didn't have the courage to look. Slowly looking at her reflection in the mirror. I'm all alone. She began to feel scared and angry. At this moment, tears began to appear. This was the first time she cried from sadness. At this moment, her tear formed a strange stone, because this was the first time it had appeared, so she didn't know what it was. Among all the magicians of the Rander house who had ever cried an emerald, until now there had been no one. At this time, in the bathroom, Ingrid held an emerald. She didn't know what its power was, because there's only this one. I have to be careful. If I could cry it out again, then it would be better. At this moment, she again remembered images related to Winter. She thought, we haven't seen each other recently. It seems he's very busy dealing with the black market issue. He's so busy because of me. I wish I could go see him. Thinking of Sister Grace. Today she said, that's enough about me. What about you two younger siblings? You two younger siblings. Grace leaned in close to her ear and said, it's about Winter. Don't you dare hide it from me. I can see everything you know. If I go to see Winter now, Sister Grace will surely tease me. It's not what she thinks. Meanwhile, in Winter's room, he was also working diligently. He thought there are many people who oppose the abolition of the black market. Overall, the territory is still peaceful, but on Smith will bother me soon enough. Those disgusting magicians calmed down. There are magicians who are not like that. I haven't seen her recently, even though we are both in the same mansion. I'll have dinner with her tonight then. At the same time, in Ingrid's room, she looked out at the sky and thought, even if I die in a peaceful scene, like this, will time still turn back? It probably will. I can't disappear before getting rid of this ability. Time will just turn back again. If I see the sunrise from that tower, can I endure it one more time, Ingrid? A voice from behind startled her, and she turned around. Ingrid, there you are, listen. Grace told me that we can be friends. Surprising, maybe Grace likes me too. What do you think? Ingrid, yeah, that's good news. Is something wrong? It's nothing, haha, I get it. Are you feeling lonely? Because you can't see Winter. No, he hit a nerve, and she was startled. Why would I? Oh, did I say something wrong? It's so wrong. Why is everyone you've been spacing out a lot lately? I'm definitely just thinking about the future. You mean about Winter, huh? If you want to see him that much, then you should go see him. You even live in the same mansion. Are you listening to me? If I marry Grace, and you marry Winter, then won't we be in-laws? Just trust your brother-in-law. Suddenly she had a bad feeling. She turned to leave. She said, I'm leaving now. At this moment, Gasper snapped his fingers. Ingrid immediately disappeared. She thought, what did he send me? At this moment, a voice came from behind Ingrid. She was startled and turned to look. It turned out Gasper had teleported her into Winter's room, and she was sitting right on top of him. The two of them just froze like that for a long time. He looked at me. I looked at him, looking back and forth. At this moment, she remembered Gasper's words from earlier. Siblings have to help each other, right? So that's what he meant. So this is what he meant. He's the reason I'm here, huh? Ingrid looked back and forth. It wasn't until 10 minutes after hearing Winter call Ingrid that she calmed down and said, sorry. Sorry, I'll get up right away. Since you seemed very busy, I was a little worried. So that's why Gasper was worried. She thought I finally managed to stand up. Embarrassed, she was about to leave when Winter grabbed her hand to stop her. Wait a moment, huh? I was just taking a short break. If you can please stay with me. Yes, I want to thank you for what you did for Grace. Thank me, why? Because I don't know much about that sort of thing. You helped me. About that, if Sister Grace agrees, what will you do? If Grace says that's what she wants, then she should do what she wants. Then won't you be all alone? She has only ever worried about me and the people of the territory. So if getting married makes her happy, then she should do it. Even though I know nothing about that phantom thief. You're really close with Sister Grace, huh? After all, there are only the two of them as siblings in this house. I also only have a younger sister. She thought if only Conria or I were the magician. Could we have been close? Stop thinking about it. I don't want to imagine these things anymore. We have to look out for each other. Our parents passed away early. Father was killed by a magician. Then mother followed father, killed by a magician. We still haven't found that magician. I still try to protect my family. And there are other magicians guarding this place. Because of this ability, I can't trust anyone. He is also tormented by his own ability. Even so, he still tries to protect what is important. I want to avenge my father. But when I started searching for the culprit, there were no traces left. So there is a magician who can escape from the Clement house. Sorry, I ended up talking about things I shouldn't during a rare break like this. It's okay. It's not just Sister Grace. If you have any problems, I will help you too. You remember that, so I will always listen to your worries. She thought I'm a little different than usual, thank you. Then I would like to have tea together with you like this again. Okay, that evening at the Sasa mansion, he was waiting for an important guest. You're late, doctor, because the white-haired doctor said that I have that thing.